I think I'm gonna be like 90 still watching Power Rangers. I don't know. It's just something about that whole concept of being a teenage superhero, driving a giant robot, and having a cool suit. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I know it's been a while since I've posted. I apologize. I have been busy with other things. So, if you watched my last video, I did a full review on Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, the movie from 1995, which I gotta say is still one of my favorite movies of all time because I watched that movie religiously when I was a kid, lost it, and now I have it on DVD 20 some odd years later, and I still watch it to this day. So then I thought, why don't I watch the Power Ranger movie from 2017? I know there's got to be some comparisons there, and boy, there are a lot of comparisons. But before we get started, guys, if you are new to the channel, welcome. If you like movies and TV shows, video games, and me talking crap about all of those things, then go ahead and subscribe to the channel. And of course, like and comment on this video. Before I go further, guys, if you haven't seen Power Rangers 2017, stop this video, go watch it because fucking spoiler alert, don't click on a video if you're going to get spoiled, okay? I mean, spoiler alert, the movie's been out for 2 years. We've had more than enough time. Okay? Okay. So, Power Rangers 2017 is actually a really big departure from the original series. Like, when you say teenagers with attitude in the original series, like, these teenagers are the opposite of attitude. Like, they're all goody two shoes, they're all in extracurricular activities. Jason is a karate instructor, Kimberly is doing all sorts of gymnastics, Trini is doing, martial arts, and Zach is teaching hip hop keto. Yes, hip hop keto. Who can forget hip hop keto? And Billy is just a scientist, and they're doing their thing, and Rita attacks, and Zordon's like, "Bring me teenagers with attitude," and I'm like, "Why? Why with attitude? I mean, at this point, it's 1995. I don't think teenagers have attitude." And then they get their powers, they become Power Rangers, and it's a little bit more of a light-hearted kind of show. So when you go and watch 1995 versions of Power Rangers, it's a very different feel. It's a kid's show. I mean, fuck it. Saturday mornings at 8 a.m., this was a kid's show. But fast forward, 20 some odd years later, you get Power Rangers 2017, which is literally the direct opposite of what we saw in the 90s. These kids are delinquents. They're in trouble. They want to get out of Angel Grove, and they're chosen to be superheroes. So let's kind of break it down. Jason, in the 1995 series, he was a karate instructor. He was leader of the team. He was more confident. He knew what he was doing. He knew everything. He was the Red Ranger. In this version, Jason is none of those things. In fact, he's not even a karate instructor. He is a football player who got hurt by doing something stupid and threw his whole future away. So now he's in this whole dilemma of like, well, what am I going to do now? I screwed up my life. I know it. My dad sucks. He keeps on throwing it in my face. I'm not a leader. I'm just trying to figure out what I need to do. And that comparison is just like, it's a more darker tone compared to what we're used to watching the Power Ranger movie. And then you have Kimberly, who in the original series was a gymnastics champion or athlete, something like that. And she was just like the bobble airhead, bubbly personality. And this one, she's more serious. She's a cheerleader. She had friends. She's more worried about being popular and stuff like that. And now she's an outcast. So going from, being this ditzy, popular girl in high school in the original series, now she's more of a outcast. She was popular and now she's an outcast. Also, going back to Jason, can I just point out how creepy it was that Billy's mom was like, "Oh my god, Jason Scott." Like,
Oh my god, Jason Scott.
what the fuck was that about? That was weird. Like, even I cringed a little bit when I saw that. I'm like, "Mom, you're not even that hot. I don't want you saying my name like that. That's weird." All right? All right, going back. So now we have Trini, who kind of comes in later on, and I mean, she's not Asian, so the original Trini actress, if you go back to the pilot series, the original Trini actress was actually Latina. But fun fact, Hayam, it's not Ham, it's Hayam. Hayam Saban didn't feel the need to make Trini, the original actress who was Latina, stick around. At least I think she was Latina. I think that's where they got Becky G from in this movie, because that version of Trini was more of a boy, and they had four boys. It kind of felt like they had four boys and one girl. So they replaced the original actors with our more familiar Trini, and I think they kind of backtracked and brought in Becky G to kind of fill in that Latina gap. And this version of Trini is not as girly as the Trini we know from the original series. She's an outcast too. She has problems at home. She might be gay. She's doing yoga, do death metal. I mean, there's something up with this chick. We don't know what it is, but as she says it, she's always the new girl. And then we have Zach, who's not black. He's a Black Ranger, but he's not black. He's actually Asian, and he has his own problems to deal with. In the original version, Zach was a hip-hop Kido instructor who taught kids hip-hop Kido, which is a mix of dance and karate. And he was the black guy of the group. I mean, he can't really say anything. He was involved. He had his own class. He studied. He taught kids hip-hop Kido, and ended up being the Black Ranger at the end of the day. And then this version of Zach has his issues. He's dealing with his mom. His mom is dying, and he's fully exclaimed that, my mom's going to die. I'm all that's going to be left by myself, and stuff like that. So it's a really sad, dark twist there for Zach. And last but not least, we have Billy, who in the original version was a white guy, David Yost, who was the brains of the team. This time, Billy is on the spectrum. And what do I mean by spectrum? No, he's not gay. I would assume that he's probably autistic in some way. His brain does not operate the same as everyone else's brain, as he so eloquently put it. He's on the spectrum, so his brain doesn't operate as well as others. He doesn't get jokes. He's a little awkward. He's still smart in a way, and he's just different. But I think of all the characters, Billy is kind of like the closest to his 95 counterpart, because Billy of that one was still pretty awkward. Maybe he was autistic. I don't know if that was a thing in 95. Who knows? So anyways, the movie opens up with Zordon and Rita fighting. Zordon's got his ass kicked, and for some reason he's ass naked underneath his suit. I don't know why that's a thing, but I didn't want to see Zordon's blue ding dong. But thank God they didn't show it. But his whole team is dead. His whole team is dead. Rita's taking the Zeo crystal, and Alpha just hurls a meteor down to the planet. Boom, done, finish. Okay. Next scene opens up with Jason throwing a cow in a locker room, and that kind of leads into his whole incident. He tries to run from the police, has this huge accident, and because of that, he's put on house arrest. He loses his scholarship opportunities, and he's hurt his knee. So he's off the team. He has to go to detention, and that's where he meets Kimberly, who is having her own problems because her cheerleading squad, or her friends that were on the cheerleading squad, have kind of outed her, or just cut her loose because of something that happened between her boyfriend and something like that. Anyways, going further, Billy is getting attacked by this, I don't know, Shaun White looking guy. I don't fucking know what to call this kid. And fucking Jason just slaps the shit out of him. Whack!
Did you just slap me?
Let's see that again.
Did you just slap me?
Whack! So funny. Just bitch slapped him for no reason. I thought that was kind of like the best part of the movie. So, anyways, Billy and Jason kind of bonds together, and the whole time Jason is wearing this ankle bracelet on his ankle, and he has to be home by 7, and Billy was able to disable it. And I'm like, was that for the entire movie, or was that just for just this day? Because even fighting a giant monster made of gold and piloting a Zord, you still got that shit on your ankle, dude. And you're out at night. Is that overall? And your parents know that you're on house arrest. They're not asking any questions as to wait, where's Jason? It's 7 o'clock. Why isn't he home? Shit like that. Just a little inconsistency there. Anyways, they sneak off to the mine. Billy blows up some stuff. They find the power coins. They take the power coins. They get caught, set off alarms, and then they jump in the minivan out, dodging all these cars, and then boom, gets hit by a train. They tried to outrun a train, then they were like, that's our way out. Let's go. We got to get past the train. And then Boom, they get hit by a train. Now, this is the part where I was confused when I first saw it. So they get hit by a train, full on force. Boom, they're done. I mean, these kids should be dead, but then the next scene, they're waking up in their beds. I didn't really understand this at first. It didn't really click until I watched that scene again and come to find out that the power coins that they picked up actually teleported them out of harm's way and back home because they found the van, which was completely totaled. But then I'm asking myself, well, how did they get home? That's never explained. It is kind of explained because if you look harder as they're slow-moing down, as the van is flipping over, you see their respective colors start to flash, and that is kind of like that teleportation thing that the Rangers always done. So they did actually teleport in the movie. People were saying that they didn't. That's the only logical explanation. I'm running with that. So they wake up. Jason has these weird ass abs. Every time I see that, I don't know what the fuck to call it. A 6'8" weird pack. I don't know. That it looks gross to me. I didn't like it. Anyways, they get together. They said we got to go back and figure out what the hell just happened to us, and that's where they meet Zach. That's where they meet Trini, and they start jumping all over the place and hurling canyons, and then they fall into water and they fall into water and they find this spaceship that's been hidden under Angel Grove since the dinosaurs were around. And I kind of hate things like this because when you try and make out what they're actually looking at, it's kind of hard to say, is that a spaceship? Because there's no discerning features that would decide this to be a spaceship. You know, there's no wings, there's no cockpit, there's no nothing. There's just a fucking door with a wall, and then they walk in, and this is weird. Anyway, they enter the spaceship because their power coins allow them to, and that's where they meet Alpha, who's probably one of the best characters in this entire movie. Actually, the best character in this movie. A huge departure from his fucking 1995 version of Alpha 5. He's more witty, he's more relaxed, he's more just kind of a cool little cat. I would love to have a Alpha 5 like that. That was pretty cool. And that's where they meet Zordon. And Zordon tells them that you are the Power Rangers. And I love that aspect because if you don't know a little lore for you, Zordon is actually an alien wizard from the planet Eltar, and the way they have the Rangers' powers originating from extraterrestrial technology makes a lot of sense instead of the original usual spandex, you know, that they more comfortable wearing. Power Rangers, because Zordon created those power coins, Zordon is an extraterrestrial, so therefore the Power Rangers' powers, arsenal, weapons, Zords, all that stuff is extraterrestrial, and I loved how they did that. Anyways, Zordon tells them about Rita Repulsa, who's looking for the Zeo Crystal, and she's already back, and they have 11 days to stop her. And I'm like, that's a lot to take on from a group of fucking delinquent children who don't know what they're doing with their lives, and now you want them to save the world. All right. So Zordon tells them that you need to morph to become the Power Rangers, and they can't morph. And this is where part of the movie starts to make a lot of sense to me watching it for the 25th time. Don't judge me. So this whole thing is about these total strangers, these kids who are just, they're so upset with the way things are that they just get in trouble. You know, they're upset, they're angry, and then they meet each other, and then all of that just kind of goes away because they're in a way alike, and it's because of this alikeness that eventually they're able to morph. But in the beginning, they're still strangers. They can't morph. They're just training. They're trying to fight putties and learning the ins and outs and do's and don'ts of being a ranger. They get to meet their Zords. But all throughout this thing, they're getting to learn about each other, know each other, and get to know one another better and make friends. And that's that whole scene with them around a campfire where they're bonding and telling each other, you know, their deepest, darkest secrets, things that they would never say out loud to themselves, but they're willing to tell it to others. So there's a little camaraderie there. So even though they're not the goody two-shoes teenagers with attitudes from the 1995 show, they're still pretty decently bonding at this point to where they may or may not become those teenagers with attitude later on. So they completely disregard Zordon. He says that no, they're not ready to fight Rita. We don't want to listen to you. You just want to use us so you can come back out of the morphing grid and become human again, or whatever the fuck, Eltarian. They never specified his race. Anyways, they go off and fight Rita by themselves because somehow Rita snuck into Trini's room and they had this little girl talk, and it was pretty epic. And they're making all this noise, and I'm like, is no one in the house hearing this shit go down? But then before the scene started, you see that the parents leave the house. So then, like, I don't know, let the fucking wrestling match in the bedroom upstairs begin because there was some damage, and Trini probably was never questioned by her parents after they just questioned her about everything else regarding her life. Like, the fuck happened to your room? How did this happen? We're just going to leave this alone, right? All right. They go ahead and they confront Rita, and Rita just owns them all. Like, they're fighting with crowbars and chains. They're trying to punch her in the face. I'm like, you're fighting in fucking Space Witch. You think that a fucking chain and crowbars is gonna actually do something for you? Absolutely not. So throughout all this mayhem, Rita just wants to know where her Zeo crystal is, and Billy has already figured it out. It's around the local Krispy Kreme, and this is the most obvious product placement. And I didn't know this until I was watching other people's reviews on the movie pointing this out, but I was watching the movie for the first time. I was like, they're really pointing out Krispy Kreme a lot. I mean, they want people to get diabetes at this point. I mean, Krispy Kreme was fucking everywhere, just all the time. Anyways, Billy eventually tells Rita where the Krispy Kreme place is, and or where the Zero Crystal is, which is at Krispy Kreme, and then she kills Billy. And I mean, like, I thought he just drowned, but no, this fool was really dead, and it was struck a chord in me because he's the most prominent character in this entire movie. He is Billy, and Billy wasn't my favorite Ranger in the beginning. Actually, it was Jason, and then later on when Tommy became the White Ranger, they were my favorite Rangers. But Billy in this one was more character because he was kind of like the glue that brought everybody together. Like everyone, I don't know if they felt sorry for him or just felt pity because Billy didn't really have any friends. And then I don't know where he gets 4 friends who are completely different from one another. And they wanted to protect him. They wanted to be his friend. They wanted to show him that, you know, not everyone in this world is a dick like the kid in the beginning who broke his pencils. And that struck a chord with all of them, and I think that's why the writer was like, oh, we should just let Billy die and then do the whole come back to life thing, and that'll just be it. And that's what happened. So they take Billy all the way the fuck from the fighting, from the scene from the fight, and all the way back down into the canyon through the water, and all the way to Zordon. Yeah, I mean, the kid doesn't look heavy, but that's a long ass walk from what I've deduced by the diameter or the square footage of his town. So there's that. Anyway, Zordon opens the morphing grid, or the morphing grid opens up and Zordon's able to come through, but he doesn't come through. In fact, he brings Billy back to life, which begs the question, is the morphing grid the afterlife for Power Rangers? Dramatic music plays. I don't know. But anyways, Billy comes back, and it's from there that they are able to morph. And you hear Jason say,
It's morphin' time.
and then they morph, get their armor, and they go off to fight putties. Now, I'm not a fan of the suits. I don't like the suits in this version of Power Rangers. But like I said, the Ranger powers come from Zordon. Zordon is extraterrestrial in nature. Therefore, the Power Rangers have to look somewhat alien. So you got the little energy coursing through the suits. The suits look more armor-like, but not like leathery armor like the original Power Ranger movie from 1995. Which, if you haven't watched it, go check that out. I think I did a pretty good job. Anyways, those suits are a little bit more crystalline nature. They're heavier. It looks like it. They give the Rangers more durability and strength and stability. And I guess it fits the tone because this is a more darker version of Power Rangers, and the suits are not as lighthearted as the original spandex suits in the original show. So there's that. Anyways, they get up there. They work as a team. They defeat the putties, and then they call the Zords. And I like how they did the whole original Power Ranger theme song from the movie. Go, go, Power Rangers. Do, 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 do. Go, go, Power Rangers! Billy's like driving the Triceratops backwards, and I'm like, how? Like, how are you doing that? Because I kind of want to do it too. It looks like fun. It looks like so much fun that everyone's running forward and you're fucking running backwards and still keeping up. And going into the city, which Angel Grove is a very small city, but you see the parallels here. You see that in the beginning of the movie, these kids wanted to just fucking get out of Angel Grove. They wanted to leave. They don't like it there. And now, fast forward, they have to put their lives on the line to defend it in order to stop Rita from getting this Zeo Crystal. And all of this movie, the whole theme of this movie is working together, sticking together. It doesn't matter who's your team. You don't choose your team. the team chooses you, and they have to work together. And so it all comes down to them defending the Zeo Crystal against Rita and Goldar, who, I don't know who fucked up Goldar. Goldar was a giant monkey with gold armor and a sword that looked terrifying as fuck. Who came up with a giant walking golden skeleton that is liquid gold dripping all over the place? Who allowed this? Who did not watch the original series? You should have watched the original series. How did you come up with this idea? I just gotta know. Were you high? Were you getting your dick sucked? Were you on meth? What were you doing when you wrote this? I just gotta know. Because Goldar isn't a giant 20-story monster that's dripping gold. He is a golden monkey that was probably inspired from the Wizard of Oz, which I'm dead certain that it was probably inspired from the Wizard of Oz, 100%. So the Rangers get pushed into the pit. Everyone thinks they're dead, but no, because what would be a Power Ranger Megazord? I dropped the beans. What would be a Power Ranger movie without a Megazord? And that's when they formed a Megazord. And that's when it kind of gets good, because now they really have to work as a team. Like they're not in one cockpit like in the show. You got the girls operating the arms, you got the boys operating the legs, you got Jason in the middle, he's calling the shots. They literally have to work as a team to make the robot work and run and walk and punch and kick and do all this stuff. And that's what really counts in this movie, and that was the whole idea behind it. So they do that full Nelson slam into the ground, they destroy Goldar, they stab him, and then, as a funny nod to the beginning of the movie, Rita attacks the Megazord, and Jason just, again, with his famous move of all time, he bitch slaps Rita like no other into outer space.
Training now!
And again, it's hilarious because all that, and all you had to do was slap her. Really? All you had to do was slap this bitch and knock her out? Pow! Out in space. And now you got the Rangers, who are now the defenders of Angel Grove, who did not want to be defenders of Angel Grove, but now have to stay in Angel Grove because, well, there's a big-ass prehistoric crystal sitting right there, and someone needs to protect it. And you get a cool cameo of JDF, if you don't know who JDF is. That's Jason David Frank, who played the original Green Ranger, Tommy Oliver, in the original series, as well as Amy Jo Johnson, who played the original Kimberly in the original series. So that was a cool little nod. I saw them first. I don't think anyone saw them until they went to go see it for the second time. So the movie ends there. They kind of understand where they have to go. They kind of learn from these experiences and being Power Rangers and all that fun stuff. And I think it's a great movie. Elizabeth Banks, I didn't like her Charlie's Angels movie, but she did a fantastic job playing Rita. I like it. Rita was actually hot. Yeah, I said it. And I'm not the only one who thinks that, so sue me, all right? So you get that whole Tommy Oliver cameo, and it kind of breaks my heart because we were looking forward to the next movie, which would have been Green with Evil, obviously. Rita was the Green Ranger. Technically, she would have given that power coin over to Tommy Oliver, which would have been a great little dynamic there. But see, here's the thing, is that we all know that Kimberly eventually falls in love with Tommy and they become a thing. But then in this movie, it was more of a Kimberly and Jason kind of thing. So it would have been fun to see that dynamic with the new guy being the new evil Green Ranger, Kimberly falling for him, but no, Jason has feelings for Kimberly, and they don't know that he's the Green Ranger, and this whole dynamic kind of goes down where, they're fighting Tommy, who's also the Green Ranger, who Kimberly falls in love with, but then Jason also has fun feelings with Kimberly. So it would have been great. It would have been great. But since Power Ranger got bought by Hasbro, they're rebooting the entire series, which I'm excited for because I'm a huge Power Ranger fan. I love it. I can't wait to see what Hasbro has done with the movies. Maybe they go back to original series, maybe they do something more. I don't know, but I'm so stoked to find out. So at the end of it all, I give Power Rangers 2017 a solid 7.8 out of 10. It's never going to beat out the original, but, there were still little inconsistencies. I didn't like the suit. The story was kind of slow built up, but I get why they did that. So 7.8 out of 10. If you don't like it, oh well. Hey guys, thank you guys for watching. If you guys like this video, again, like and subscribe to the channel. I'm trying to get a little milestone in. I have been sitting at 201 subscribers for the last 3 weeks. But please help a brother out. Hit that subscribe button. Let me know what you guys like about this video. Are you a Power Ranger fan? Did you watch the 1995 movie? If not, you can check it out in the links below in the description. Did you like Power Rangers 2017? If you did, tell me in the comment section. If you didn't, tell me in the comment section. I would love to know your thoughts. And if you have any movies or ideas that you think I should review, please let me know, because I'm always looking for new content to check out. But until next time, ladies and gentlemen, you guys have a great weekend, and I will be back at you with another subjective opinion right here on my channel. Adios.